Welcome to A Better Choice Homestead. My name is Kelly. Today we are in my kitchen for an episode of Tasty Tuesday. On my channel, I focus on food, growing it, preparing it, and preserving it. On Fridays, I do a freeze-dry video. On Sundays, I do a gardening or different type of food preservation video. And on Tuesdays, I like to do really quick, wholesome, homemade meals. Even if you don't know how to cook, even if you're relatively new in the kitchen, even if you're not familiar with a bunch of different kinds of food, I make things that anybody can do. So tonight we are going to be doing some incredible bacon wrapped scallops with a balsamic glaze. And then we're also going to be doing some pan fried asparagus. It's going to be so simple. It's going to come out amazing and absolutely delicious. So let's get going. I have 8 sea scallops here. These are the larger sea scallops. And the only thing I have done to these is pat them dry. I have 4 slices of bacon. I have, I'm going to call this 3 cloves of garlic, even though this one probably has 2 or 3 in it because they're small. I've got some asparagus that has been washed, and then I've got some seasonings as well. So I am going to start actually in my small cast iron skillet. I am going to get some garlic going in some butter with some parsley, and that we are going to drizzle over these scallops just before they go into the oven. So first thing I need to do is get my garlic going. I'm going to start with a garlic roller because that's going to help me take the jackets off very easily. And then I'm going to go ahead and mince those with my garlic press, just because I don't want big chunks of garlic on the scallops. If you don't have a garlic press, then you can just finely chop them. And if you don't have a garlic roller, there's other ways to peel it, including, I've been told, you can just put it in a glass and shake the glass around, probably with a lid on it. All right, so I'm going to get my cast iron going on about a medium, and I'm also going to preheat the oven to 400 degrees. All right, I'm going to use half a stick of butter for this. It may seem like a lot, but I'm also going to pour it on the asparagus when we cook the asparagus. I'm just going to get that melted down while I start pressing this garlic. I'm just going to cut it off of the end here. And the garlic is pressed. We don't want to burn the garlic, so I'm going to let the butter melt down just a little bit before I put that in there. And while that's going down, I am going to just get a little bit of lemon pepper onto the top of my scallops. Seasonings are always to taste, so I just did enough where I can see that I have some on the top. All right. The other thing I have down here are some toothpicks. So you only need about half a piece of bacon per scallop. So I'm just going to cut this bacon in half. So 4 strips then becomes 8 pieces. I'm going to stretch this out just a little bit so that I can get it around the scallops. And I'm wrapping it around the short side. And then I'm going to secure that piece of bacon onto the scallop with a toothpick. And I'm going to go ahead and put that down, season side down. This piece is not quite large enough, so I might grab another piece. This is bacon that I get in my once a year bulk order from the farmer. So it's packaged and, you know, a little differently than commercially packaged stuff. It's not quite as stretchy. I'll probably need another piece. Yep, I'm going to use this piece over here, and I will get another piece of bacon out. Our butter's looking good. It's starting to brown just a tiny bit. I'm going to go ahead and turn that temp down. Brown butter has an amazing flavor to it, so it's okay that it's browning. Season side down. And this is a pretty small piece too. We'll see if we can use it. Oh, we can. That worked. All right, let me get one more piece of bacon out. And let me get this staked better. The toothpick is just to hold the bacon on, because I think if you're familiar with cooking bacon, it kind of shrivels up. So the toothpick is just to hold the bacon on. But let me go ahead and get another piece of bacon. All right, that ought to do it. I'm gonna wrap that around. Okay, now I'm gonna get the garlic in the pan and also some of parsley. I'm gonna give that a little stir. Get the parsley in. This is freeze-dried parsley from last year's garden. I'm going to go ahead and turn that heat off. And now I'm going to transfer these scallops to a baking pan. I like to use a foil wrapped cookie sheet with a rack on top. It just makes for easy cleanup. You can put it directly on the baking sheet if you'd like. I would probably put some nonstick spray down if you do. And with scallops, it's usually probably 2 to 3 scallops per serving. All right, I'm going to put just a smidge of lemon pepper on the top of these now. And I am going to drizzle some of this garlic parsley butter over the top. You can use lemon in here as well. Lemon butter over scallops is divine, but I'm going to be doing a balsamic glaze on top. All right, so I'm just going to get some butter drizzled over the top of these. It's getting a little hot on my hand. There we go. That looks lovely. And that butter is going to help also sweeten up that balsamic glaze. Now, I was planning to make a balsamic vinegar reduction with a little bit of honey, but when I was at the store this past weekend, I actually found balsamic glaze. I tasted it. It's okay. It's imported from Italy. It's okay. So I bought it. I opened it. I'm invested in this now. So I'm going to go ahead and use this. This has already been reduced with a sweetener in it. So I'm just going to drizzle a little. A little goes a long way when it comes to a balsamic glaze. And we're also going to be putting some balsamic glaze over our asparagus as well. All right, we are almost up to temp, so I'm going to go ahead and just set these aside for a moment. And here is what they look like before going into the oven. A little bit of a drizzle on top. All right, our oven is up to temp, 400 degrees. I transferred my butter, garlic, parsley into my larger cast iron skillet. So I'm going to go ahead and get these into the oven. These are going to take 15 to 20 minutes. So I'm going to set a timer for 15 and check them. And they're going in the bottom third of the oven. And next, I am going to get this asparagus going. Now, if you are new to asparagus, it is a spear. The lower half of the spear is pretty tough and it's really hard to chew. So you need to break off the ends. And unless it's fresh out of your garden, then the whole thing is completely edible and tender and beautiful. These are not from my garden. That's the top and that's the bottom. And you're gonna hold it towards the bottom and you're going to bend it until it snaps. It knows where it starts to become tough, and that's the part that will snap off. I'm gonna drop that in the bowl and the asparagus in the pan. And that's it. So we'll do these quickly. Some people like the super, super thin asparagus. Again, depending on how fresh your asparagus is, the thick ones are fine too. The skinny ones are from new same year growth. So asparagus plants, they'll put up both new and older stalks, multi-generational stalks. So the thinner ones are from, younger parts of the plant, and the thicker ones are from older parts of the plant. To me, they taste the same. It's a texture difference rather than a flavor difference. And some people just find thinner asparagus more appealing. I don't mind thick asparagus as long as it's not woody and tough, as long as it's not been sitting around cut for a long time. I don't mind the thicker pieces. This has a mix of both. And this is a lot of asparagus, but we love asparagus. And the pieces that I'm cutting off or snapping off on the end here, these are going to go straight into my compost pile, my compost bin that is right off the back of the house, which is where all of my kitchen scraps go. Veggie kitchen scraps. No dairy, no meat, no fat. All right, there's compost food. So this is food for my garden for next year. I'm going to go ahead and get that turned on to a medium low. We're going to need 15 or 20 minutes for the scallops to cook, although these are going to take a little bit of time. So I'm going to start cooking them, but on a medium low. All right, that butter is starting to heat back up. So I'm just going to turn the asparagus, make sure that, we get some of that flavor on all of the stalks. I'm going to add a little pinch of salt. And we are just going to let these cook a bit. So asparagus is a really nutrient dense and low calorie food. It's loaded with vitamins. And it's especially rich in vitamins K, A, C, and E. K is essential for blood clotting. It's also good for bone health. And the A and C vitamins are antioxidants. And the vitamin E plays a supporting role with the A and C with the antioxidants. It's also high in folate, which is a B vitamin that's required for cell growth and DNA formation. It's also high in fiber, both soluble and insoluble. The soluble helps you manage cholesterol, and the insoluble helps you feel full longer. And there's also potassium in asparagus, which helps regulate the sodium in your body and overall helps lower your blood pressure. And you know that we are pairing this tonight with scallops. Scallops are a lean protein offering 17 grams of protein per 3-ounce serving. They're low in overall fat, but they offer a really good boost of omega fatty 3 acids, which help lower bad cholesterol and reduce your risk of heart disease. It's high in essential minerals such as selenium, zinc, and copper. Selenium supports your immune system and your thyroid function. Zinc is necessary for brain function, and copper helps protect against heart disease. And those 3 ounces of scallops actually meet your daily needs of vitamin B12, which is an antioxidant and also an essential vitamin for good brain function. And in scallops, the zinc, B12, and omega-3 fatty acids work together to help with your cognitive health, and it may even reduce age-related cognitive decline. So this is a super healthy meal and super easy to make. This is one of my start to serve in under 30. I'm going to try to get these bigger pieces here down to the bottom of the pan. So that is another thing with asparagus. The thinner your spears, the faster they'll cook. All right, we're just going to let that go for a little bit. Okay, the oven timer just went off. I just pulled the scallops out, so I'm going to go ahead and flip them using the toothpick. And we're going to put them back in for about 5 minutes. I went ahead and turned off the asparagus when the timer went off as well. And I'm going to do just a little drizzle on this side. Those are looking great, not quite done. So back into 400 degrees in the lower third of the oven. What I will do with asparagus here is I'm going to go ahead and drizzle the balsamic vinegar on here as well, very lightly. And I'm just going to let that sit for a few minutes. And just before the scallops are ready to come out, I will heat this right back up. All right, the final 5-minute timer has just gone off. So that's 20 minutes in the oven. Take a look. Oh, they smell amazing. They are sizzling and they look perfect. Let me give you a closer look. These look fantastic and they smell incredible. So I'm going to turn this asparagus back on just for a minute. Just on a low heat. I really just want to get that glaze worked in a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and plate up some of these scallops. All right. Got my scallops. Some asparagus. And that's dinner. Let's give it a taste. All right, I'm just gonna take the toothpicks off of one of these scallops. And we're gonna try our asparagus first. I always start with my vegetables. It's tender, crisp, and delicious. Didn't really get any of that balsamic glaze on there though. All right, let's test these scallops. They're perfectly cooked on the inside. They've got some crispy bacon on the outside. Hands down, that is a win. Whether you eat this as a main meal, whether you serve those scallops as an appetizer, they are so sweet. That balsamic glaze just takes it over at the top. The bacon is a little bit salty and a little bit fatty. The flavors just melt in your mouth. This is delicious. And paired with asparagus, you can't go wrong. So bacon wrapped scallops and asparagus, both with the balsamic glaze, start to serve in under 30 minutes. Thank you so much for joining me this week for another edition of Tasty Tuesday. My name is Kelly. You're at A Better Choice Homestead. And I do hope you come back and visit again soon.